Welcome back to the Real Triathlon Podcast. I'm Lisa Becharas, and today we are joined with Jackson Laundrie, Garrick Loewen, and the winner of Edition 2025 St. Anthony's Triathlon, Mr. Marc Dubrick.
Yay!
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So good to meet you guys. Finally,
Marc, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast here. It's a real honor to have you.
I know. I guess I wasn't cool enough to become a host, but I'm glad I get to talk with you guys and hang at races eventually. Maybe I'll be a host.
Once a quarter maximum.
It's not so much that you're not cool enough; it's that you didn't pester us enough.
Yeah, and they knew you'd be
shots at Lisa.
They knew you would be too flaky. Okay, you'd be like, we're recording a podcast, and you're gonna be like, "What? I have a track workout to do. I was supposed to do it 4 hours ago, but now it's 6 p.m. and I got to do it now." So
that's true.
That's another reason why.
I texted you. I said, "This needs to be done. Why are these Canadian boys flaking on us yesterday and then almost today?" The only thing I'm flaky with is where I'm living. Like, I don't know where I'm living now in 2 weeks, a week and a half, actually. But it is what it is.
That was a really long pause. I don't know if it glitched.
Yeah.
Well,
I think everyone
keeping us on edge.
Both Marc and Jack froze, and then Lisa and I were kind of just looking at each other.
Oh, I thought I just cut out because I couldn't hear anything. Mine was just frozen.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, Marc, congratulations. You are the king of the Olympic distance non-draft. I think that's fair to say. And it's not a fluke. It's 2 years in a row now. Lisa, only second. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, good job, Lisa, too, on the second. And there was a full swim this time, so nobody can be like, oh, well, it's just because the swim was short that one time. Well, you still were real close to winning. And you had some physical difficulties hampering your confidence leading in. So you still crushed it.
We could talk about that. We can have a whole segment on that later.
I think we should skip the segment about your what were you saying? Yeah, your testicle.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. She's experimenting.
I was just in a weird spot because my dad was there, and Lisa was like, "Can I talk to your dad about this?"
Well, yeah, so Marc's dad was there, and Marc's dad is an OBGYN, or now he's retired, but he's still, licensed.
Still has the knowledge.
He still has all the knowledge. And I have, guys, no joke, it's 1 inch by 3 inches long, saddle sore. But it's not like a sore. It's like a freaking cyst type of thing that's hits my saddle. Anyway, so I'm talking with Marc's dad about it. Marc doesn't want anything to do with it. For I don't know why,
Marc's he heard what was going on. He's like, "Oh God, this is horrible."
but the conversation came up over dinner. She's like, "I have a testicle." Oh, Marc's dad, can we talk? And I'm like,
yeah.
It was at dinner. I'm like, "All right, guys, let's just wait here. We can finish our pizza first." All right, sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
No, but I was freaking out mostly pre-race because the Thursday before, everything down there started to swell up. There's a whole bunch of lymph nodes that you have in your genitalia area, and I had this lymph node that just kept swelling, and then my upper thigh started swelling, and so I think those are signs of you probably have some sort of infection. And then I started getting this on and off headache for leading into the race, and I was like,
then I was just passing out randomly, and I just would wake up on the floor.
So anyways, this is the worst I've ever felt during a race in my life. I have no idea. I just normally get out of the swim and I can get on the bike and the power just comes easy and I have to hold back, but I was fighting for every single watt. But anyways, so went to the dermatologist on Monday, and they put me on freaking antibiotics for a month.
Oh.
For a month. It's a long time. I haven't been on antibiotics back since I was in college, and they gave it to you every other week. So here we are. But it's going to be resolved, guys. It's already getting better.
Good. I'm
Good.
happy for you. That was tough times for us to hear about that.
But I want to hear, Mark, do you want to give us a little recap on win number 2, back-to-back win?
Yeah, how long of a recap? Am I going through the whole thing?
45 seconds.
45 seconds.
No, we'll
Before
go
2 5 seconds.
I'll try.
2
I'll
to
keep it
5
short
minutes.
and sweet. So obviously, I wanted to go for the win. Obviously, there for the win, and I knew it was possible, but like certain things had to happen. One of the big ones was obviously coming off the bike without Matt McElroy, and then before that, obviously, so that means getting onto the bike probably without Matt McElroy. So that led us to the swim, going in reverse there, and I obviously had Greg, I had this guy Magnus, and I had a few other really good swimmers, and it was a weird situation. They ended up starting us 50 meters away from the first buoy, where normally they start us in water, and it's more of like a 700 or 600 meter stretch before our first turn.
That start was weird.
It was really weird.
Played to
So
my
dumb.
strengths of less swimming, more running.
Yeah, exactly. Some people who like are good running in the water, it could pay off. I ended up lining up on the far right, Matt McElroy, Greg. Actually, Greg went to the far side, but Matt McElroy was right next to me and some of the other good swimmers. So it was like, kind of sucked, but I got to the first buoy first and then just pushed like pretty hard. I'd say like 7 out of 10 for 300 to 400 meters, because I knew with that turn and then just hitting it coming out of that turn, that's where we could establish a gap. And then hit that first like 45-degree left turn, kind of did a little backstroke. First time actually doing that, just to see where kind of everyone else was at. So Greg was right on me. And then we made right before the second turn, so we're heading out into the bay now. I let Greg go by, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to sit on Greg's feet the rest of the way. I did my job. And that got pretty wavy. I'm not sure what you guys thought about that.
Yeah, it was choppy. It was choppy. Yeah, so it was Mark, and then it was Greg, and then it was me right there, and then just kidding. I was like 2 minutes behind at this point. I was probably 20 meters behind Mark at the first buoy, 50 meters in. Because as soon as they announced that we're doing this running, then turning, I'm like, I'm not sprinting barefoot, getting stepped on, fucking fighting with these people just for maybe an extra like 2 seconds to the first buoy, when I can just kind of go to the back and then like not get crunched at all and probably still end up in the same place. So that was good. I think I was fine. I missed a group of a couple guys that got away. I was there, and then of course the classic guy in front of me got dropped, and there was 3 guys that got away from me and the one guy, and they ended up like 30-ish seconds ahead of me, and that would have been like a pretty solid swim for me. So I was like, I still swam decent, but I was like a minute 50 something or so behind you guys, which wasn't horrible.
Yeah, and Jackson, can you keep your mouth away from the mic just a little bit?
Just like six, be like 6
really
inches
loud.
away. Just like 6 inches back from the mic.
I typed it in the chat.
I know, I read it.
Hello, this is.
How's that?
So let's see.
So how's that?
That's
How's
much better, yeah.
Better.
Nick like molests the mic, and it sounds fine. So I was like,
He has that.
Yeah.
I think he has the a special like cover for it,
It's got the windscreen on it or whatever it's called,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Oh.
So
Okay,
we're
anyways.
like back into the swim. Greg took
oh yeah,
over.
I'm
I'd
done
say I
the
did,
swim
like,
already, and Mark's not even done explaining.
I know,
so
but it's
there you go.
important. It's important because I was able, there's the 2 turns out in the bay, so I was able to take another look. Not that it would have changed anything, but it's just like a little bit of a confidence boost in a way, or like, do you want to keep pushing just a little bit if maybe they're just separating? Because it's so wavy, you can really extend the gaps there. So I'm still sitting on Greg's feet around those 2 buoys, and then we're coming in. He actually gapped me a little bit. I don't know if it was him surging to get the $500 preem, but he ended up gapping me by like 5 seconds by the end, which I was fine with. I just ended up relaxing a bit more. I was able to get the heart rate down, run up the stairs, get to the bike, and then I was actually out on the bike first, so I need to talk to Greg about his T1 performance. But yeah, really happy. No splits. Like, I feel like this race is tough because there are a lot of people cheering. But I don't know if it's just how the flow goes, but there's just not many opportunities for splits, or people don't know how. So yeah,
I got a split out of the water, and they were like, "You're 50 seconds down," and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty good."
Maybe it's for the people who are down.
90. I was
splits.
90 seconds down, not 50, and so I was like, on the bike, I was like, "Wow, I'm terrible."
So if the false splits, even worse. But yeah, maybe they just do the splits to like people who are behind. So the normal plan is to, especially when you have, like, I could see I had a gap, was to push hard to that first U-turn, which is 5 miles in, or just before 5 miles in, and then you have that slight uphill all the way up there, and then a U-turn, and then you kind of come back down, but it almost always is down into a headwind, just with the prevailing winds there. And we could, that's where the first of 2 times to look at your competition is out on the bike course. And I had Greg on me still, and he actually came around me right after that U-turn. And we could see we had 2 guys not far off, maybe 20 seconds. It was, I knew one of them. It was Magnus again, the really good swimmer, and I knew he was a good cyclist. And I didn't really know the 4th person. I actually thought it was someone else the whole race. But it ended up being this guy, Drew Schellenberger. And then we saw Matt McElroy, I think, all by himself. And I want to say he was probably maybe a minute down. So that was like a big motivator, because I knew even with me and Greg, if those other 2 didn't bridge up, we would might be able to stay away. I was feeling pretty good, and I was pushing pretty hard. And even if Greg would take the lead just for a little bit, as I could rest, because we're going so fast, you do get a bit of a rest out there. We're average like 28. I know, Jackson, you average like 29 or something crazy. So you do get a benefit at the legal 12 meters. And then they end up catching us. We had a group of oh yeah, that's true. So we had a group of 4. Sorry, I'll try to pick up the summary here. Group of 4, and Greg.
You're never gonna be invited back if you're not done in the next 30 seconds.
I know. So
no, you're doing good. No rush.
Okay.
No.
It's a podcast. It's not like an Instagram reel. We don't.
True. Yeah, I need to know the difference. So Magnus came by, so I knew he was motivated, and I look back, and in 70.3 is usually like someone's coming by, like one person comes by, it can be another person who's right on that person's wheel, but no one was there. So I was like, all right, well, those 2 are probably just going to sit back there, or maybe they're just tired for now. So I just was in second. Magnus went in front of me, and they didn't end up coming through at all. So just Magnus and I, we did right about 5 to like 7-ish minute turns, pretty even. And he ended up saying the bike was really easy, which was funny, because I didn't think it was easy at all. I mean, I was definitely pushing, I'd say probably 340 to 350s when I was at the front. And I don't even know, like, I feel like my average watts for the race was like, wasn't a good indicator of just how hard it was. I was 315. I didn't actually see the normalized. It might have been 325. But there's just so many soft pedal, like every speed bump. And there's tons of turns where you're like pedaling. You're not pedaling for like a couple seconds in, couple seconds out. So we get to the second U-turn, and that's where I see Jackson pulling everyone. I was like, oh crap.
I literally caught them. I went around the last guy at like 50 meters before that turn. And then I did the turn, and then I hammered like 400 plus for over a minute to try to drop them. And only, I think, 2 or 3 guys like sort of hung with me, but they all said like, well, you would get ahead of us on the straightaways, and then we'd be dropped, and then we go to the turns and we catch back up again. And I'm like, God damn, how many freaking turns does the race have?
Yeah, I mean, even on that back stretch, it does have quite a few turns. I mean, it's really nice. Is that Pinellas Drive, I think? Like, that's the best section, Pinellas Point. That's the best section until you start making that like sweeping left, and then it gets really bumpy. But then you got the roundabout, and then you got the like left turn, right turn, and yeah, so there are quite a few turns after that. But I was like, okay, they definitely made up ground, but I was like, we still got a good gap. This is the headwind section. Like, if we keep pushing, like, we can still like hold the gap at least, as long as Jackson doesn't pull everyone back. And again, no splits.
I don't think anybody made up ground except me, though.
Okay. Yeah, and I didn't even look at the splits coming off, and I didn't hear the splits getting off the bike. I still don't even know what it was. What the lead was from you and
I'm
Matt.
pretty sure I was a little under a minute behind you, and I was the next guy.
Okay, so a minute.
But there was
and
like
now...
2 guys with me, and then Matt. But like they were kind of with me, but not super much. Like one guy was right with me, and then Matt McElroy was like 10 or 20 seconds behind, but he had a crazy transition.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't even see him, and then I got onto the first straightaway on the run, and I saw him up there. I'm like, what? I didn't even saw. Like I thought he was still back there somewhere.
I know it's wild how fast. And the guy who was in my group, Drew, he had a crazy fast transition. Like it took me all the way until that first left turn to catch him on the run. And then I found out it wasn't the guy who I thought it was. Like it was Drew. I thought it was this guy, Josh. So Drew like did short course for a while. We raced. He's quite a bit younger than me, but he's a good runner. So I was like, oh shit, like he's like, and he ended up hanging on for third. So it was pretty awesome for him. Great race. So I was running scared. I was gonna go pretty hard to the first 5K, and then reassess and just hope that I could kind of crush their hopes. Without crushing my own hopes and legs and spirits. And I
hope they're crushed, don't worry.
I felt good, surprisingly. Like the legs it felt weird to run fast because up to this point I'd done 3 like test workouts. One was just 4 by 1 minute, and that was like a week and a half ago, I guess now, on Tuesday. And then on Saturday, so 1 week before the race, I did a 3-minute effort, a 2-minute effort, and a 1-minute effort. And then on Tuesday was the only like proper workout, and it was 8 by 400. And that was kind of the green light to work, that I was good to go for the race, no pain, nothing. So I was definitely like running with like so many question marks, especially beyond 400 meters. So yeah, paces were good, and just kind of tried to relax as much as I could, dump cold water on myself. And I
feel hot like, a little bit. Was it?
I actually ran with an iced water bottle, so I didn't feel hot until maybe 2 miles to go or a mile to go. But that was a good move. I wrapped my Omnius headband around this frozen water bottle, and then I held on to that for the whole until it melted at 5K, and then I tossed it whatever aid station was right there.
That I started to get warm at like 2 miles to go. I was like, okay, I'm kind of hot now. It needs to be over.
It needs to be over, right? There's not much. There's shade in there, but then it does open up, so it really does like get hot on you. So I think I had 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds on that at the U-turn, and at that point I kind of knew I was running for first or second. For a split second, I was like, you know what, I could be okay with second. Like, even if I fade, I'll have second. And it's like, but I was like, and then like right away, I was like, no, F it. Like, he still needs to catch me. I don't know what he did on the bike. He could have been hurting, having a bad day, whatever. And he was hurting. And then for some reason, my splits were still dropping. I think I perfectly split it. And I was, really surprised. So just was able to kind of not really relax because I never, like, I don't want to like mess around. Count your chickens, count your eggs before they hatch. I don't know what that saying is. Count the dollars before the check. I don't know.
Count the chickens before they hatch.
Yeah,
just so you know, for future reference.
For future podcasts. But yeah, it was awesome. I was really surprised. And I think it was just a lot of the swimming and the biking I'd been doing in all the weeks that I was injured, because I really wasn't running much, but I knew I could get stronger at the bike. I knew I could get stronger on the swim, and it would help me not be as fatigued getting out on the run. And now going to a 70.3, it's going to be a whole different story. Like, this is a flat 10K off of us Olympic swim and an Olympic length bike. So still a long way to go. But yeah, sorry, long-winded summary. But Jackson, I kind of want to hear yours as well, and Lisa, of course.
No, it's good to hear. No, it pretty much went like I thought I saw it go in the U-turns. Yeah. Well, I guess I had a little bit of relevance there, but did the easy-ish swim start because I just thought that would be the best idea for me. Honestly, I was a little worried about my foot going into this race because it had been feeling really good and like workouts were going well and stuff. And then the week before the race, it like started feeling kind of achy in a way that I'm like, is this like what it feels like if you re-break a something. Like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling good about that like a week out. So I pretty much didn't run. Like I ran the Sunday, Monday before the race. And then I only ran Thursday on the treadmill with the lever reducing like 30 pounds. And I only ran like 30 minutes and did a couple pickups, and that was it. So I was pretty cautious. Foot ended up being totally fine, but I didn't want to be sprinting in water and stepping on rocks or getting stepped on. So I took like 2 steps, and then I started dolphin diving in like 12-inch deep water. It was pretty funny. It was just as fast. Like I was right beside everyone, and then they just all started like sprinting, and I just kind of like went behind and got around the buoy. I was probably like 3rd or 4th last around the first buoy. And then I was then in a group with swimmers that were just slower than me, because like I'm not 3rd or 4th slowest. So I like leapfrogged a few guys and got into a little group that had formed. It was probably like, at that point, it was probably the 2nd group, but it ended up being the 3rd group because I think Matt McElroy's group was 2nd. And then around the first turn buoy, the first 3 guys there got away. So I ended up kind of with me and one other guy, and just under 2 minutes down. I actually felt pretty efficient and good in the chop. I was happy with my swim. I felt like I just couldn't push it up to that. Like I definitely didn't have that confidence like Mark had, like going for the win. I was kind of just feeling like this race was a cobweb scraper, and like I knew I could race well, but I didn't have that, like, you know, that really competitive drive that you need, especially for a short course, in the swim and the run. Like the bike, I can always get on the bike and push hard, but I mean, that it's not like that would have really made a difference. Like maybe I could have hung with those guys if I was a bit more aggressive. But you know, a few seconds faster in the swim. But then I got out of the water, and the guy was on my feet. Like he led a bit, and then I led the last while. And he got out, and like, I'm not joking you, by like 1 mile into the bike, he was like 40 seconds ahead of me. Like he got out and sprinted.
Do you know who it was?
Sprinted. Mick something, not McGoey, was the other Mick. That wasn't
McGoey.
No, it was the other one. Mick, some American guy. He had a mustache.
McDowell was supposed to be there, but he wasn't.
It wasn't McDowell. It was a dude with a mustache whose pump I bore before the race without asking him. Anyways, so he was gone, got on the bike, and then the photographer that took photos for us was there on the mountain line. Mark.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're about 2.5 minutes down. And I'm like, oh, fuck. But I actually think that was wrong. I think it was closer to 2:10 because I swam 1:50, and then I look at the transition, I lost like 10. I don't think I lost another 10 between the end of the transition zone and the mount line, more than another 10. So anyway, I think it was probably closer to 2:10. And yeah, I mean, I took a while to get my feet in my shoes. Like I just kind of had a slow start, and that guy was gone. And then I'm like, all right, let's get into this. And then once we got, like, the first part of the bike is kind of more open. Like you're kind of just riding. There's not that much turns. And taking that left turn to go out to, before you do the first like out and back, that left turn, that guy was still 30 seconds ahead of me. Like I saw him turn, and I looked at my computer. I'm like, okay, 30 seconds. That's crazy. And then we did the left, and like I just got into my power. I was pushing like 360, 370 early on, and I passed him before the turnaround. So he went a little hard.
Like a short, he must be a short course athlete or something. Like he made it to 2 miles.
I think he's ITU guy.
Mix,
for sure.
Yeah, we'll find it.
Yeah, but I talked to him after the race. I was like, that was crazy. He's like, yeah, man, ITU experience. I'm like, all right, cool.
Experience.
But anyways, did the U-turn. I saw that I was like exactly 2 minutes behind at the first U-turn, roughly. And then I kept working hard. There was a group of guys that was like moving pretty well, that I was like kind of gaining on. There's 3 or 4 of them. And I caught them after the little lollipop loop thing. I caught them right after that. Yeah, after that golf course lollipop thing. So probably at like 25K or something. And then
like 15 miles.
Yeah, and then I went around those guys, and as I went around them, I like put in a surge, but like we were then catching the group, Matt McElroy, Brett Saunders, and the other guy. So I just like pushed pretty hard to catch them, and then I went around all of them. So like it just kind of like brought those groups together for a minute, I think. But Jackson, I went around all of them, did the U-turn, and then there were like freaking a dozen guys almost by then, probably 10. and I just like smashed it. I'm like, screw this, I'm leaving this group behind. I think 2 or 3 of them ended up kind of staying with me. The one guy, the tall guy, he ended up 6th, I think. He in the black kit, he was actually pretty strong. Like, he was leading that group that took me a while to catch, so I figured I might not drop him. And he's the one I couldn't drop. And then there's 2 of us, and then there's like, it's easier for the guys to stay after that. So a couple guys hung, and Matt McElroy kind of did. So I was like, oh, well, hopefully I didn't screw Mark's chance to win this thing, because I knew I knew I wasn't going to beat Matt. Like, I would have needed like 3-4 minutes to have a chance to beat him. But anyway, yeah, got on the run. I did socks. I wore the Hoka Rocket X, which is a little more cushion than the Vaporfly, because I was worried about the foot. And like, the guys all around me wore socks too, and I had a fine transition compared to them. But Matt McElroy was just gone, and I never even saw him.
Yeah, no socks, I bet. And he doesn't sit.
Sock.
And he probably doesn't sit down.
I don't even know how he did it, but it was crazy. I did get tied the bike course record. I felt good. Like, I pushed. My average was sitting just above 340 for the whole time until like right at the end it dipped to like high 330s. But there's a lot of zeros in there. So like, if it was, honestly, I sucked on the turns, and like, if it was a course that was like wide open, I probably would have pushed in the 350s, and maybe I could have caught your guys' group, but you all outran me anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I made up about a little over a minute on you guys, I think, right around a minute. So yeah, started the run. I felt good. I was like running with the guy whose name I forget, who ended up 6th, and we kind of went back and forth. He ended up kind of surging at like 2 miles. I got like a pretty substantial stitch at 2 miles, and like struggled pretty hard from like 2 to 4.5 miles, and everyone kind of ran away from me. McGoey was gone. McGoey goeyed away from me. And I thought I might be in 8th, and then I got to the U-turn. I'm like, okay, I'm in 8th. That's the last prize money spot. And then that Everyman Jack guy was like, Schaefer. Yeah, I was kind of mad at him, because when I was passing him in that group that was riding pretty good, he was in there. He was 2nd in the line. And I was like passing him, and then I had to go over a speed bump, and he went around it. So he like just got back ahead of me, and I like was passing him, but then he decided to go past the guy when he knew I was passing, and he just decided to then go past the leader. So I had to like smash it to get past both of them. And I like went by him, and I like glared at him. I was like,
and you
that's
have
like
a clear visor,
that's like
don't
when
you?
Sam Long was passing that group at Worlds in St. George the one time, and then some guy pulled out next to him.
No, it's the opposite. It's the same situation that I did. Anyways, yeah, so he was like 35 seconds behind me at the turn, and frankly, nobody near me looked like they were running fast, but I'm like, I know I'm not running fast either. So this is, and it was same. I would say exact same as a swim. I like mostly, other than the stitch, felt good. I just couldn't like push. Like, I was stuck at what felt like 70.3 pace, and I thought I was going like super slow. But then at like just before the turning to the bridge, I saw that you just told me his name, and I already forgot.
Schaefer. It's Matt,
Schaefer,
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Saw that he was catching me. He was like 5 seconds behind me at the bridge. I'm like, okay, he's gonna catch me. I'm gonna just have to battle. But like, I went over the bridge, and I just like picked my pace up enough, because I'm like, okay, I just need him to catch me late enough that I can beat him, because I know I can beat him in the finish shoot. I know it. It looks like he's scraping his heels on the ground. There's no way he can sprint. And I just knew he was like burying himself to catch me, so I just knew I would have that advantage. And then he caught me with like half a mile to go, and he tried to do the like, good job, man, and like I just right on his shoulder. And then we ran together, went through the last little aid station. He put in another surge. I stayed on him, and then I think once he knew he wasn't getting rid of me, he almost just gave up, because once like do the left turn into the finish chute.
Yeah.
And like, I just took the lead and took the good line on that turn, and then I just like started my sprint, and he just didn't even try. He was done. Which was, I mean, it was for 8th, so I needed the $500. I really finished on a good note, and I almost just like, it's weird how you always go through that, like your brain tries to convince you it's fine to give up. Like you did the same thing for a second with the like, oh, the second will be okay. And he caught me, and I was like running with him. It was pretty hard. I'm like, oh, 9th. I mean, I still got the bike cream probably. And I'm like, no, this is stupid. Like you just freaking bought a house. Like, make the $500. You can do it right now. 2 minutes of hard. That's all it is.
Is that what
Like-
motivated you?
Like, not the house exactly, but I'm just
'Cause
like,
mine
it's
was kind of
$500. Yeah, you need to buy a house.
Mine was a
But
house
yeah,
or
no, I
a
was
car.
just like I just like, you don't have an opportunity to increase your wealth by $500 with 2 minutes of effort very often. And like,
Yeah.
just, and you know, you're going to regret it if you just let him take off. So just freaking try. And then, yeah, paid off.
And then
But
closing
I was
it,
mostly,
you close it on like a high note, right? You outkick someone, so like it.
Yeah.
It just makes the day feel, I think, a bit better. Like,
Way
I know you
better.
weren't like overall happy with 8th, but like you did win that battle.
yeah,
so
you won that battle, and I won the honestly,
mental
I
battle
hadn't
too.
raced for six months. I hadn't raced, and my last one was a full. So
Yeah.
like, I know I can do better in that race, but I still, all the positives I can take away are leading me to believe I can have a good day in St. George and Chatty. And I was like, man, I ran so slow. That's going to be like freaking 35 something. And it was like 34 low. So it's not that bad. It's like, okay, that's only like a minute and a half off what I would hope to do on like a good solid day. So yeah, overall positive. And I was mostly stoked to see Mark leading. Although, to be fair, I thought Matt was probably going to catch you and it was going to be really close, and it wasn't even that close.
No, it wasn't
Yeah.
too close.
And then Lisa
went
was
out
right at
hot.
the front, and a bunch of the RTS girls were all up there. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is great. We've got this. And I can't forget to mention freaking Greg.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't forget.
This guy, like, I'm like literally doing the whole race. And I told him this after the race. I'm like racing. I'm like, where the hell's Greg? Like, why haven't I passed Greg yet? And then I'm like, okay, well, he hung in there on the bike. Good for him. And then I'm like, I'm getting towards the run turnaround. I'm like, where's Greg? Like, and then I see him, like, he's like in third. He's like freaking sprinting. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's cooking today. Like, he ran so good. I was stoked. Like, I've never seen him run. I mean, that was a breakthrough for him. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
And pulling off fourth. So good for him.
It was good. I think
And
it was a
calling
good
in
day.
10th. Calling in 10th.
Yeah,
Calling
we
10.
great
I think it was
RTS
a-
showing.
Yeah. Annie was fourth.
Lisa
Dom was
second.
I was second. Dom was fifth.
Mhm.
Cheyenne had a hard day because
She
she
crashed.
She hit a curb, which I think all of us saw and were like, "Ooh, we could easily mistake that for like where we should have ridden," because
Yeah.
it wasn't super, I don't know, wasn't super evident to where to go. But which is a
It
bummer.
was just
but yeah,
hard to see
overall,
because the sun was in your eyes, and like if you get sweat on your visor, you can't see that well. So
no, and
It's,
just
uh,
glared in,
you
blended.
just need
in.
to put some spray paint on that curb. And
Yeah, or a couple of cones in front of it. Like, don't turn here.
yeah,
But yeah, super great showing for RTS.
I wanna
But
hear your day.
my day,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I'm not gonna go into that much detail, other than I felt like absolute shit the whole day. Actually, I will say the highlight of my day was that I hung with the top swimmers, that top group, those ITU girls, until about like 600, 700 meters, basically until like the chop came. And right when the chop came, I was so far off the back. I was like, oh my God, I can't swim in this. So that's, I was
so you were
literally
right at
like,
the front. You're in the front group.
I was in the front group. I was like
Whoa.
on their feet, and I was like, holy shit, I can like
That's awesome.
surf these feet.
So
And
you
then
lost
the,
90
like,
seconds in just the last 900 meters.
yes.
Okay.
Well, then
Did a
another
little work in
group,
the chop.
another group came by, which ended up being the group that I swam in. And I was like, perfect, like people that I can see, because I can't freaking see where I'm going, or I don't know where this course goes. So we just hung out with them, and I don't know, yeah. But got on the bike, felt awful, and it just took me so freaking long to catch everyone. But ended up coming off the bike in first. But basically, Jody and Grace were with me, and we put about a minute into Annie. And then I got on. I had a quick transition. I was leading the run until about a mile. Then Jody came past me, and I, ran on her shoulder for a second. But like in the first 800 meters of the run, I looked at my watch, and it said I was like going 6:30 pace, and I was like, "Oh no, this is gonna be a long 10K."
Well, you
So
don't
it was
wear a
just like,
freaking watch.
yeah, I was oof, but I was, yeah. So it was kind of just a battle because I just felt bad. And
But you still performed like well.
I still
like,
had a really solid day. So it was good learning experience for me, knowing that I can feel like shit and still do pretty okay. And yeah, it was crazy because Grace was like, she ended up being 25 seconds ahead of me at the finish. But for so long, she was probably like 15 to 20 meters ahead of me. And in my head, I was like, Lisa, like, you could just save it for the last mile and you can just sprint. And I was just like, I like literally don't have anything in me. I'm like running on freaking fumes. It was just actually one of the first times this has happened in a race where I was passed by somebody. Jody passed me. And then obviously she did. I was actually really excited when she passed me. I was like, oh, I'd love to see Jody win. Like, good for her. And then
Never
she
mind.
started
Screw that
to
girl. I'm gonna beat her.
well, she started to fade and I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna like pass somebody. I'm gonna repass somebody on the run, which like Lisa doesn't do. That doesn't happen in races, but maybe this is the new improved Lisa and she can do that.
Isn't that a fun feeling to pass people on the run?
I was like, wow, I should do this more often.
There were years where I hadn't done it like at all, and I did it, and I was like, "This is amazing."
I've stopped. I haven't done that much lately. I got to get back to that vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
I got to start doing
Jackson,
speedier on the bike so I could pass.
it's St. George. It's St. George weekend. You remember what happened last year?
Oh,
You're like,
I passed a few boys there.
Yeah, you did. But what you said to me.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Well, like Mark usually outruns me, right? And like in this race, my shifting fell off, my own fault, whatever. Mark got ahead of me and he started the run. I don't know what, a minute ahead of me, something like that.
Yeah, because you stopped on coming down from Snow Canyon.
Yeah, I stopped to try to shift down so I wasn't spinning, whatever. Anyways, I caught him at like 5K, 7K, something like that. And I was like, "Are you okay?" Because like he just wasn't running that good, and like I knew he had been injured, so I was worried about his injury. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just taking it conservative."
But you said,
so I'm like,
okay.
Okay.
How things change or something. Like this.
Oh yeah, how the tables have turned.
That's what you said. How the tables have turned.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But okay, that's enough of St. Anthony's. Garrick, we want to hear about Ironman Texas because we talk about the good, the great, and the ugly, and sometimes how DNFs are part of freaking professional triathlon, especially when your whole leg goes numb. And
yeah,
continue.
I was in the middle of the race and I was like, man, Ironman, like that's a long ways to go. So I kind of just pulled off and stopped.
Right.
But you had a good swim.
Man, I was pretty happy. I felt good. Like I had made some strategic errors at the start of the swim, just like where I lined up and stuff. So I missed that like big front pack. I should say miss it. We were there until we weren't, and our group just all of a sudden basically stopped swimming.
That's fine.
And, yeah. So, but in an Ironman, it's like when it's your first Ironman of the year, it's weird because you're like, is this the right effort? Like, should I go harder? Should I go easier or whatever? So I was just sitting on some feet and stuff. And then at halfway, we went through like the timing arch. It wasn't working, which would have been great if it was working. So I could have seen. But then I went to the front of our group and we ended up catching the chase group that had opened a pretty big gap. Morgan got on video, which was pretty cool.
Yes,
Mark? Question. Sorry, I have a question.
With your elbow.
Yeah, I was holding it. No, timing arch. Does that just like the time? Like, it's literally just the running time from when you started. It doesn't give you gaps, does it?
No, it's like going through any other timing mat, but it's in the water.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
So, yeah. They would have had it. They usually have it at Worlds at 70.3 and full. You're always racing, so you don't notice it.
Yeah, I don't see it. Okay.
Yeah.
But you would have seen it after. Like, it would have been cool to have it after to see.
Yeah, because it's right at halfway, so you kind of have an idea of your gaps, right? So you know like how far back you were of the front pack and that. But yeah, we came in. So the way Ironman Texas swim is, it's divided into 3/3 basically. So you go out 1/3, turn around another third, and then you swim down a canal for the last third of the swim. And when we got into the canal, I had just kind of come, like I just worked through getting to the front of our pack, and there's like another group up there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, there's a group of few guys. I'm like, okay, we must be really far back if it's like splintered and there's a group up there. And then I look up again, and all of a sudden we're closer, and we like just close the gap on this group super quick. And I was like, what the heck? Like, these guys just literally stopped swimming. Like, it's like they started doing breaststroke or whatever. And that ended up actually being Cam Werf's group, who Cam swam with the front pack until the last third in the canal, and he got dropped, and they went like straight backwards.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Just
So
redlining it to try to hang in there.
So yeah, I don't know. So anyways, Morgan got video of that. It was pretty cool. And I led the chase pack out of the water, but we were like 3 minutes down. We were way down.
What's that? I don't. In my head, I'm like,
Iron
oh,
Man, that's not that bad.
Freeman's
But there
down
were
to the-
25 guys and 25 guys in the lead
Yeah.
pack. So like the
That was
pace
a
wasn't
big-
hot at the front. Like it's not like it was a hot pace at the front. But yeah, but I was happy with my swim, happy with the back half. And I felt good. I was riding well, I was pushing good power. Like the power was coming easy. I wasn't doing like crazy numbers. It was just Ironman, whatever, 280 to 300 was just super comfortable the whole time. Riding pretty good. And then, yeah, I was started getting some numbness in my left buttock and down into my
You
hamstring.
and Lisa need to work on this buttock private region.
And yeah. And then I just got like a really sharp stabbing pain that, wouldn't go away. I tried sitting up out of aero and it wouldn't go away. And it was like, how sometimes there's like a pain that you can push through, just like for most stuff, but I just could not push any power. Like I couldn't push through it or anything. So I ended up pulling the plug at about 100K into the bike because I could not put any power through my the left side.
Damn.
Yeah, and I think it's like a point of diminishing return. It's like, yeah, you finished Ironmans before, you could do it. It's not your first time. And then it comes to the point of like,
you could make it worse, obviously, right?
Yeah. And it's like, what's the benefit of like trying to like soldier on through this? So like you just keep like hemorrhaging time.
Like I think if it was just like a mild ache or soreness, or if it was just the numbness, like I would have just kept going. I would have been like, oh, like I would have kind of soldiered on, like just finished. It's been like, maybe I'll have a good run, maybe I can just roll home. And then, have a good, but I could not, like, I just couldn't push power. And that's like super rare. That, have something where you literally cannot, like, it was like not working.
Do you think it was like a sciatic thing?
So my suspicion of it, at first I wasn't sure if it was like hip stuff from before, but the pain, like it presents differently. Before I was like getting it all down, like the medial aspect, into my groin and all that stuff. But this one, it was like fairly localized, kind of around like the greater trochanter, that area. Like I could palpate it decently well and like follow it. And I'm pretty sure it's piriformis syndrome. That's what I'm going with. So tomorrow I'm driving 4 hours down to Oakville to get a bike fit, and I'm hoping that is going to help.
4 hours is not going to help your piriformis at all. I can tell you that right now. You're going to feel awful.
Like a premium retool bike fit with the guy that I've worked with in the past. And we're going to work on that. And then I'm still going to get some imaging and stuff. But I guess the big question is, like, do I race Ironman Brazil?
No.
Probably not. That's in like a few weeks.
Don't.
It's a month. It's in a month.
Yeah, I have till May 6th to figure it out. It just May
6th is like next week.
Yeah, no, I know. I gotta figure some stuff out real quick.
Okay, what was your plan anyways after this race? What were you gonna do after?
The plan was then gonna be Eagle Man and then challenge Roth.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that how you
Roth
say
is
it?
still
Roth.
Yeah.
Roth. Should we talk to Nick with his German accent?
Yeah. So we have neighbors. We have neighbors from Germany, and that's how they call it. But it's a little more aggressive when they call it that. So that's still the plan. Still gonna do it. So, But yeah, hopefully we figure this out. I think if it is soft tissue, I'll be more than happy. But I think, guys, this segues us into a good topic here. I know Jack's falling asleep, but
No.
Ironman World Championships.
Oh yeah.
Back to Kona one day.
I think that's
what do you think?
Positive.
You think it's positive?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I think it's good. Everyone wants to be together, make some, form some new relationships at the Ironman World Championships. Everyone's
what do you mean, like
to find
their like future
love.
Wives and husbands and stuff?
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Well, yeah, but you gotta
say my name.
Like, come on, Mark, get it together.
Mark can find someone who also appreciates triathlon. I think it's.
I agree. Too. I think it's good. It's going to be less total people getting to go to Kona. That's the downside.
Well, compared to the 2-day, but the 2-day Kona was never going to happen again.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, because instead of 3,000 men going one year, then 3,000 women the next year, it's just 1,500 each year. So it's going to be harder to qualify. Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you think it should be because it's a world champs anyways?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah. I just think that's that's the one downside where people. I think age groupers might not like. Some age groupers maybe won't like it as much because the ones who are like having a really hard time to qualify are probably not going to be able to qualify anymore. Yeah. Just a thought.
I will say that it's not going to be 1,500 men and 1,500 women. It's going to be proportionate. They're going to proportion it to basically how many men and women compete overall. So it's going to be
like 18 and 1,200 or something.
Yeah, probably be like 2,000 men and 1,000 women type of thing.
It was almost 2 to 1, I think.
Yeah. And I mean there's lots of different philosophies and things about about that, but so many less I mean, I don't know if it's the right answer, the wrong answer. But I will say that there's way more men in the sport right now that compete. It's like, I don't know. I think the stat is like 18% women and whatever, that leaves 82% men at like a normal Ironman.
Really?
Which is
that much?
Yeah. So I do think it should be a little bit on participation. I am happy that they have not done that in the pro fields so that we still have equal prize purses and equal spots for Kona and 70.3 Worlds. I mean, but it is sad to see that there's so much less female participation, and I hope that changes. I don't know. Yeah. Like the women, the people that I coach, it's like 80% women that are like right around my age. And I'm like, wait, guys, we need more of you to go.
See, I don't know if I necessarily agree that like a proportionate representation in the World Championships is the right way to go. I think if
it's just so we have the numbers real quick. You're right. It is globally, it's 18% women that make up full distance events, and then North America, it's about 25% women.
Wow, 4 to 1.
Wow.
So
no, 3 to 1.
So yeah,
3 to
1.
1.
But that's not
3 to 1. Yeah,
that's not. That's full distance only. If you just look at triathlon as a whole, it's way closer, and I think short distance events might even be higher women's participation.
I don't think it's higher, but they do get closer the shorter you get because women are smarter.
But like women are smarter. Yeah. I don't think that like opportunity should be subject to participation. Like it should be that whatever the race is, this is how many slots there are. You show up. If there's more men that show up, well, for 5 slots compared to the women that also have 5 slots, that's tough on men. That's how it is. That's how she goes.
I do kind of like that, but they don't know ahead of time how many slots there are, right? Isn't it based on the?
Well, they know how many there are in the race, like,
but they don't know how many.
But they don't know,
allotted per age group.
Per age group, but it should. I think it should be, like same thing though. There's 20 slots for men, 20 slots for women. It can be based on age group because that's more participation. It probably shouldn't even be for that. Like. You can kind of do a hybrid because there's going to be one 75-year-old person. But even then, I think it's just like it's tough luck if there's more people that show up for these slots to compete for.
Do you think it should be exactly equal?
I think it should be exactly equal.
Yeah.
Or part way between. What they have right now seems to be part way between if it's 2-1, because it's 4-1 participation or 3-1 participation, 2-1.
It could have been 4-1. I'm not sure actually. At Kona, but
yeah, I think if something goes unclaimed, then maybe they can roll it over. But
yeah, definitely would be nice for 50-50. I'm on that page as well. I just think. Go ahead.
No, I was just say I think at the end of the day, we need more women in the sport, and that's like, how do you get more women in the sport?
You get more women to Kona, and then more women see women doing Kona and be like, I want to do that.
That's actually a great point. Yeah. It's like even like Sika Henry was the first Black female professional triathlete, and like her main thing wasn't, she's like, I'm not going to go win world championships. I'm aware of that. But me being a Black female in the women's pro field, you know, another like Black child, like women, like female is going to see that and be like, wow, like we can do that type of thing. So I think you need to see it. A lot of people need to see it before they do it. I don't know if that's the best example.
And it's like an opportunity thing too, right? So when I first got in the sport, the second race I ever did, I was like in transition, and they came over, the announcer was like, and there's qualifying slots to the World Championships in New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand, like, and it was, you know, World Triathlon Championships. And I was like, that's so cool. And there were 2 in my age group, and I finished 3rd out of 4 people, so I didn't get it. But like, that was cool to me. I was like, wow, there's opportunity in this, right? And if you know, if women are showing up and making it, like, just because maybe there's a bigger gap between the first woman that takes her slot and the next woman, it doesn't necessarily mean that there should be less slots there just because of that. Like, people can chase it. Yeah. And that does breed like opportunity. It's kind of like build it and they will come. So if you look at, if we want to take like the pro racing calendar, kind of just to look at it, every year it fluctuates. Like, there's always a race that was super easy. Everyone overlooked it. There's like 10 guys that showed up, and then guys got easy paydays, stuff like that. And then the next year it like doubles the field, triples the field, because everyone thinks it's going to be the same, but it's not.
So the only way to really get that, like, take advantage of those cherry picks is to just sign up for every single race. And then you'll definitely be the one that has to be a cherry pick, like Colin. It's like our boy Colin Such.
But now now you lose your, I guess you pay the membership, right? Or else you lose the credit if you take your name off within 2 weeks? Within 2 weeks of the start list?
Yep.
Or it's the race.
But I do, guys, okay, Jackson specifically, how do you feel about 70.3 Worlds being in Nice, France in 2026 and 2028?
That I'm just not going to be doing it.
And 2030, maybe.
Potentially.
I mean, yeah, like, it's not the course for me. But Nice, the good side is now there's less Nice full distance worlds, so I'll go to Kona. Like, I'll have the opportunity to go to Kona. We'll see. I mean, like, I'll try to crack the Kona. My goal this year, when I do a full, is to qualify for Kona next year. Take a good shot at it. Have a better, you know, learn from some mistakes. Do a better job with the heat preparation. Couple things better than I did before, and hopefully I can kind of crack the Kona code. But there's also the distinct possibility that, like, I'm just not made for the heat, and I'm just not made for the Nice either, and that is what it is. We need to have some freaking, like, Finland was a great opportunity for me that I promptly squandered, but that type of course is like perfect for me and conditions. So hopefully the 2027, which is the only one that's like, maybe they'll, you know, but Marbella might be good for me, because we don't know, but like, apparently the descent is not technical, so I might have a good shot there.
Dude, let's just move to Europe and we'll get really good.
I was gonna say, we're just gonna have descending camp for like 2 months.
I don't think that, like, Zwift in Europe is any more descending.
Yeah, nothing I can do about that.
Yeah. But anyways, no, yeah. So this, I'm not like I love having good opportunities at World Championships, but I'm not like a person who's like, oh, all I care about is trying to win Worlds or be on the podium at Worlds. Like I can be fulfilled by having great days in other races, and I've had a couple good days at Worlds, and I do definitely want to have another or 2 or 3 or 5 more in my career, but if I don't, it's not going to be like, well, I failed this year. I got like 2 wins and a bunch of podiums, but I had a bad day at Worlds. Like I don't see it that way.
Yeah. It'll be a big day. Interesting. See how people react and take it in. But guys, we do have a big race weekend coming up next weekend. Well, shout out to Kate Curran, who are European contingent of RTS. The one and only. She's racing this weekend at 70.3. I keep wanting to say Venice, but it's not right.
Valencia?
Yeah.
Okay. Or did that just happen?
That just happened.
Yeah, the
What's
Valencia
the
one
one this
happened.
weekend? I don't know any of the European races. It's bad.
We got Garrick looking it up. I forget what's this weekend. Oxen Province? Oxen something?
Oh, en Provence.
Yeah. Oxcord.
Oxcord.
Okay.
Oh, also
It's
T100.
got we got Gisolo, Port Macquarie, St. George, Salou.
Are you sure
I
she's
might be
racing this
missing it.
weekend?
Yeah, she's racing this weekend. It's freaking guys.
No, let's look it up.
Oh, wait. No, all I see is May 4th, Ironman 70.3 Gisolo. 4th is and there's Port Macquarie, and then the 10th is St. George.
What?
Valencia happened. Peru happened.
Maybe it's a challenge race.
Where is she?
I'm gonna find it.
God.
Did she put it on her Instagram?
This is gonna bother me.
You'd
But in
think
the
whoever
meantime,
ran the socials would be able to do it. Figure it out.
I just closed a different tab today of where people were racing, and now I can't find that tab anymore.
Well, she didn't update her, not to dime her out or anything, but she didn't update her race schedule on the team sheet. So
Okay, dang it. Well, maybe I'm like lying, but I'm pretty sure. Where'd Mark go?
He was done with us. We are kind of rolling up on an hour here.
Oh, we are. Guys, one more thing. T100 just announced that they're gonna have a race in Australia next year, March.
Oh.
So
cool.
Whoa.
Good for them.
Groundbreaking. And that date is subject to change 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
It also
I
may
got
never
into
happen.
T100 San Fran, but I'm not doing it, so I didn't. I got in and then I got out.
You got in
I
and
wonder
got
I wonder if the guy who's 3rd on the wait list got in.
I think there's a good chance.
Pretty sure
I think
did.
there's a
he
good
got in,
chance.
yeah. And then he's doing it.
Also, I do want to do T100 Vancouver, so hoping to get it.
Oh.
I mean, if I was first on the wait list for this one, I figured I'd at least be like top something on the wait list for the next one.
Yeah. I mean,
Mark,
hopefully.
are you doing San Fran?
Sorry about that. My phone died. There should be no surprise there. TBD on San Francisco. I don't know
TBD.
if I don't know if I'll get a wild card or not.
Pretty sure
Jack just announced it.
Pretty much anyone can go online and look at like the wild card list, right?
Yeah.
Or the wait list for T100s.
Yeah, I'm on the wait list, but I'm not sure.
I think you can look at the order of the wait list.
When is this podcast going to be posted?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm on the wait list still.
All right. Well,
All right,
somebody
so
else. All I could say is somebody else who was lower ranked than Mark was asking me if I'm racing because they want to do it, and then apparently they thought they were going to get in, and I won't say who it was. So, anyways, I think I like your odds, Mark. That's all I'm going to say.
Really? You think I might get it?
I think you might.
I
Okay.
think you
Well,
might.
I'm hoping. I don't know when they'll make the announcement, but
Yeah. Anyways, Lisa was number 9 on the wait list, which is a perfect number to be at because Lisa will probably get the Passover, which is great because Lisa wants to go race Eagleman.
You can do both.
No, back to back, I would die. Also, you just have to put your name on 3 wait lists for the T100 stuff to be in the contender series. So I had to throw my name on something. So I put on that in Vancouver.
Okay.
So we'll see. But guys, I think I'm going to race St. George. I've been back and forth for a long time. I'm going to make the full decision on Friday. See how the testicle is holding up. And then, then we'll see. But my main goal is I'm going to kind of pull like a Taylor Knibb at Texas where her main goal was like just to get a Kona qualification. My main goal is to get a 70.3 world slot. Really want to go to Marbella, and it's if I don't do it at St. George, I'll only have one shot at Eagleman.
How does that change your race strategy? Just curious. I feel like it doesn't.
It doesn't. But I'll be thinking about it more on the run.
Extra motivation or less motivation if she's like in a lockdown slot, and then she could be like, oh, I'll just cruise it in.
Yeah.
But you never know who's going to turn it down.
Well, but you can know who's already qualified.
Yeah, I already know who's like, they have the list of like who's qualified and who's not qualified.
You got it memorized and written. You got to write it on your hand.
I'm going to write on my hand.
Do I have to try or not?
Okay, you're good. You're good. You're good.
You're good. You can go past. You can go past. Great job. You can't go past. You can't go past. Got to stay behind. So we'll see. It should be a fun week. And if you guys see us out in St. George, come say hi. Garrick, are you coming? Or probably not?
I could not make it work. There's way too expensive
I didn't think so.
2 days.
It didn't seem.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to go to a race and not be there. But like Mark has to go because he doesn't have a place to live, so he has to.
This is true.
Yeah, for any of you ladies listening, Mark is homeless. He just won a race though, so he's an eligible bachelor. And if you have somewhere to live,
not
even
quite
better.
to the sugar daddy status, but yeah, I definitely need a place to live. So that's a positive.
Well, we have 2 extra bedrooms here in lovely Eastern Michigan. We're at about 300 meters of elevation.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
1,000 feet.
So we got tons of lakes here. They don't go green until July. So.
But yeah, you're in Detroit, right? Or close to Detroit.
Yeah, super close to the airport. We're
safe.
15 minutes from the airport. So
and close to Flint, Michigan too. So you
love the
No,
water.
we're not close to Flint. We're not close to Flint. We are close to Ypsilanti and Ann Arbor. Go blue.
Go blue, yeah.
Go big
Yeah.
blue.
And Canada.
And Canada. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, maybe Jackson. Garrick. I might be showing up. Just saying.
Yeah. All right. Well, the door's always open. So.
But the neighbors is not.
The neighbors is not just the back. Yeah. We weren't recording, so they don't know.
No one gets
they
that
don't
joke,
know.
So yeah.
Anyways, inside joke. All right, guys. Well, it's been about an hour. Thanks for hanging with us. We're all gonna go to bed now, and if you see us in St. George, say hi, and congrats again, Mark, champ, back-to-back champ. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me. And great to meet you guys.
Yeah.
It's great chatting.
Our pleasure.
For those still here, still listening, if you enjoy it, please share the podcast with a friend. Talk about it on your group ride, group runs. That's how we grow. That is kind of the key to it right now. So please, we appreciate you guys listening. And until next time, peace.
Out.
I got ish to do, flying through the sky in my parachute, dancing on the couch like I'm Tommy Cruise on a one-man mission trying to see it through.